All right, guys, so I was reading about how Biden had recently called a new Texas transgender bill, the bill to protect women's sports, right? To make sure biological males play with biological males and biological women play with biological women. He called that bill hateful, right? He said it was hateful. And I'm like, how in the world is trying to protect women's sports hateful, right? How is it hateful? So I'm reading about this bill, and I'm reading about what Biden said, and this is from the Texas Tribune. And as I'm reading it, this newspaper, this media outlet is framing this issue as if this bill is banning transgenders from playing sports. And it's like, no, that's not what's happening. What's happening is this bill basically says you have to play in a sport based off your biological sex, not your gender identity. And it just made me think about how the media plays a role in pushing this gender nonsense, right? Pushing this gender madness on society that has really got us to the point now where truth does not matter, right? Truth doesn't matter, okay? And I just started thinking about, like, how did we get here? Like, what has led us to this point, and how has the media played a role in this, okay? And when I was doing some research for a potential video, I stumbled across this gem of a clip featuring John McEnroe, who at one point was one of the best tennis players in the world, the best tennis player in the world, in which he basically triggered everybody by saying that Serena Williams will only be the 700th greatest player in the world if you compare her to literally everybody, including men. Now, this triggered so many people, especially liberal media. And he went on CBS Good Morning with Gayle King to discuss this. And my God, their reaction to what this man is saying really explains the agenda, right? And how it's being pushed through the media. Just the fact that they act shocked by the man telling the truth really reveals a lot. So I wanted to react to this because I think this video right here is absolutely gold. So without further ado, let's get into it.
That ball was on the line. Chalk flew up. It was clearly in.
John McEnroe's fiery outburst on the tennis court earned him a reputation as one of the most iconic and controversial athletes in history. The Hall of Famer won 7 Grand Slam singles titles. He spent 170 weeks as the sport's top player. Since leaving the tour in 1992, McEnroe has become an outspoken tennis commentator. He's pursued a variety of jobs and interests off the court, from TV host to art collector. He discusses his struggle to reinvent himself after retirement and his thoughts on the game today in this new book. But seriously, he joins us at the table. Good morning. Welcome.
Good to see you.
So I want y'all to keep in mind before we get into this, this dude is accomplished, right? He was one of the best tennis players in the world, if not the best, right? The best. And he commentated on tennis, right? So this dude, tennis is his life. If anybody would know what they're talking about, it would be this man right here, okay?
All right,
What's going on?
Let's just start with the elephant in the room.
That's right.
Why was it necessary for you to say that anybody, Serena, couldn't beat the 700th player on the men's circuit?
As you know well enough, Charlie, I've respect Serena very much so, okay? And I was simply calling her on an NPR, which supposedly you're supposed, you know, this is the where you can say it like it is and you're going to get honest feedback. She's the greatest player, female player that ever lived. Then the lady said to me, I don't remember which one, but she said, why did you say woman? Why don't you just say the greatest, tennis player that ever lived? And so,
because it's true, right? Because it's true. She's the best woman. She's the greatest woman. She's not the greatest player ever, right? She can't be, because there are plenty of men that are just better than her, right? And you guys, listen to how the media frames this. Why did you need to say that? Why did you need to tell the truth, right? That's what they're asking. Why did you need to say the truth? Because feelings, right, is more important than the truth, right? Feelings are more important than the truth. And this is how we've gotten to the point we're at right now, where Biden can get away with literally saying that it is hateful to protect women's sports. Because it started with, well, why did you have to hurt Serena Williams' feelings or hurt women's feelings? Because you're simply acknowledging that if women were to play against men in basically any sport, right, that involves a lot of athletics, okay, athletic skill, men would dominate, okay? Playing to people's feelings, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of it. But the more I think about it, more like playing to people's feelings, right, has led us to a point where just stating the truth, people have to question you about that. And that is a sad state of reality. It really is.
So then I felt the need, however, unfortunately, I'm probably to defend myself. I don't know, just say what I really felt. I mean, which is about what I think she would be. I think you're referring to the fact that I said she'd be about 700 in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got a solution, Gail, though, because I know that you're friendly with Serena, and I think at least until
I'm
yesterday,
the table right now.
I'm
Yes.
just waiting. Would you like to apologize?
Apologize for what? Look.
No. But the offer is this. It's because it seems in tennis, unlike other sports, that they're always asking about how women, they always ask me how I would do for someone. Why isn't this old bag John McEnroe, how would he do against Serena? Why don't you combine, just solve the problem? I'm sure the men would be all for this. The men and women play together. And then
I'm going to tell you something. First of all, kudos to this guy. He's already a legend because when asked to apologize, he was just like, no, I'm not apologizing for telling you the truth. Okay, it was just the truth. And I think that's a part of the issue, right? Too many times we apologize because people's feelings are hurt. When you're apologizing for telling the truth, you should never apologize for telling the truth, right? It's just like, committing a crime and knowing that you're not guilty, but yet admitting guilt, right? For something that you're not guilty of. If you didn't lie or you didn't make a mistake, then there's no need to apologize because you're not guilty of anything, right? Apologies imply that you were wrong or that you're guilty of some wrong or that you lied or that you didn't tell the truth. When if that's not the case, then you shouldn't do that. And too many people apologize for things that you shouldn't apologize for. And then furthermore, he says, well, let's settle this then. Since y'all really believe that women and men are equal when it comes to athletic performance in sports, let's just play against each other. But see, the reality is that they know that is not going to be fair, right? It's not going to be fair, okay? They know that, but they can't say that because that's not a part of the narrative they're supposed to push. But we all know what that has resulted in. Look at today's society, guys. We have men now competing in pageants against women, right? Traditionally women areas of sport and art and stuff like that. And we have men that are beating them, right? That are essentially replacing women. We ain't got too many women beating men, but we got a whole lot of men beating women, right? So it starts with this type of stuff, right? And we know where it leads to. And this guy right here is on point. When he says, well, if we just let it happen, just let the two sexes compete, everybody knows at that table what would happen.
and we don't have to guess.
But John, you didn't answer Charlie's question.
We don't have to guess right now, right? We don't have to guess. Everybody knows what would happen.
Please. Yes. And then they.
Motion!
The guy ran at 50 yards. Get him.
You really do need to answer Charlie's question.
What was it? I didn't. You're right. I wasn't paying attention.
necessary to do this.
Yes.
It wasn't necessary. It was not necessary.
You knew it would create.
I didn't know. I didn't know it would create.
You
controversy.
didn't?
No.
John.
Has anybody ever?
I've said this 1,000.
Does Bobby Riggs mean
Charlie,
anything to you?
What do you think, Charlie? You're a tennis guy. You like to play tennis. I
do.
see you on the tennis court.
Right.
What do you think that Serena Williams would be ranked if she played in the men's game?
I have no idea.
Well, if you had a
See, this man's copping out. Oh, I don't have any idea. I don't have any idea. This man's cojones just shrivel right up into his stomach. Right up into his stomach, into his heart, right into his lungs. When I asked that question, because, see, he can't come out here and tell the truth. Otherwise, he's going to have to deal with Gail King and this other lady over here, okay, who's not happy about this conversation.
guess,
Well, she seemed pretty strong to me. I mean,
very strong, the
but-
greatest female player ever.
Okay, we can't. Nobody can prove this. Here's what she said, though.
Nobody can prove
Dear
it.
John.
Oh, my God.
That's a nice way to start.
Yeah.
I adore and respect you, but please, please keep me out of your statements if they are not factually based.
But it's based on facts. Like, these are the facts. Men have more muscle mass. We have bigger, denser bone structure. Okay, we have more testosterone. There are hormonal and biological differences between men and women. Okay, this is why women, right, have periods. They have menstrual cycles. Okay, this is why when people try to transition to become women, they have to take hormones because there are hormonal differences. These hormones affect the way our bodies work. It affects our muscle mass. It affects bone density. It affects growth. It affects so much of what goes into athletic performance. Okay? But these people are trying to act like these things are not based in facts. It is a fact. It is a fact that Allyson Felix, who is probably the most decorated women's track and field athlete ever. Okay? Ever. One of the best. Okay? She was a superstar in the 100 meter, the 200 meter, the 400 meter. Okay? She's the only woman to have 6 Olympic gold medals. Right? She's a living legend. But her personal best time in the 400 of 49.26 seconds was beaten by nearly 300 high school boys. High school boys in 2018 alone. So 300 high school boys was able to beat a woman's Olympic record, right? So when you want to talk about facts, those are the facts that we really need to talk about. Everything else is just cuckoo for Cocoa Puff fantasy land because the facts are clear, right? Men dominate across the board. Do we know exactly where Serena Williams will rank compared to all the men? No. But I can tell you for certain she ain't beating the top 500, right? I'm just being real. I'm just being real. The same way a WNBA team ain't beating the best high school boys team in the country. They might ain't beat the average high school boys team in the country. To be quite honest with you, if you want to keep it 100, right?
Or that or not. They're not factually based.
You know, Serena's, has a way with words. I've been in the room 5 different times with 5 of my kids were born. I don't want anything to go wrong with Serena because she's pregnant.
Look at her face, bro. Look at her face, bro, when he said this. Okay? Dude, keeping it 100. Because Serena's essentially implying here, hey, I'm pregnant. You don't need to be, upsetting me and hurting my feelings while I'm pregnant. Because, hormones, right? Those things that, women have, that are different than men, don't want to upset that because she can do something that men can't do, which is, get pregnant, right? Something women are superior at. They should take pride in that, right? Take pride in it. You can be pregnant and you can give life, right? You can give birth to life, right? One of the greatest things ever, the most beautiful things ever. They should take pride in that. But her, she got triggered, boy. She was taken aback. I need to get a screenshot of this for the thumbnail. Can't believe it. Somebody telling the truth. Again, this is how the media reacts to something that is common sense. That is just factual reality. She's shocked.
I don't want to upset her or whatever it was. I think she was doing it tongue-in-cheek as well. And I think that deep down, we're talking about something. I can't even believe we're talking about it. But
I can't believe we're talking about it either.
John.
Nonetheless, if you want to keep talking about it, I'd be more than happy to.
I do. I actually do. Because I think everybody knows.
And another thing.
No, men are stronger. Men are faster. We all get that. But I think.
So what he's saying is true. But yet you want to stand your ground to live in Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff fantasy world because of feelings, right? That's what it is. You want to discard truth because of feelings. Because you feel like Serena Williams should get her proper due, right, as a woman.
I think it sort of belittles what women do on the tennis court. I think that's why people are upset. And the fact that you ranked her 700. So my question to you is,
she's saying that, well, we know the truth, but it belittles women, right? We think it belittles women. And it's like, no, it doesn't. There are just certain things that women do better than men do, right? Just from a biological perspective, okay? There's just certain things they do better. So activities that women do better in, hey, I would give them their credit. I wouldn't want any men competing against them or taking away their shine, right? For example, I just thought of something. Beauty pageants, right? Beauty pageants. Why would I want to take away from what women do? That's why I don't want men competing against them. Because in my situation, truth aligns with feelings, right? I'm thinking about your feelings, but it just so happens that your feelings aligns with the truth, right? The truth is what's best for your feelings, but that's not the world these people are living in, because they want to be better than men. However, we've got to this point where actually, no. Men are actually now dominating women. Men are now taking the place of women. And they ask for this by, again, engaging in this gender nonsense, trying to act like women can compete against men in sports. Now, all of a sudden, the tables have been turned, and now that you got what you want, you see men dominating traditionally women areas like beauty pageants.
She won Australia weeks pregnant. You ranked her at 700 on the men's. Where would you rank yourself?
Myself would
Yeah, where
be.
would you put yourself?
Now, are you asking me at 58 years of age, would I be ranked in the tour if I had to play best of 5?
Yeah.
Which is what the men have to do at majors?
Yes.
I would be currently about 1,200 in the world.
He keeping it 100. He telling I would be trash. Right? That's what he's saying. He keeping it 100.
I mean,
I have a tennis academy at Randall's Island where I lose to kids that are 16 or 17, high school kids, and I would lose. There's pros I have 37 pros, Gail, at my club.
He's saying this because he acknowledges the reality of age and how age is biological, just like sex is biological. Okay, he knows that because of aging, that he's not going to have much muscle. He's not going to be as athletic. His bones are not going to be as dense. He's not going to have the same advantages as somebody that is younger than him would, right? So he accurately says, hey, listen, there are high school kids that can beat me. He's just keeping it 100 because he's actually living in reality, unlike these people.
6 or 7 of whom on a bad day I would lose to.
Okay.
And we could go on and on. And I was the former number 1 player in the world.
John, what do you say to this? People just say, look, John McEnroe is trying to get publicity for his book. That's all this.
Well,
he secretly wants
but
to
not this
play
way.
Serena. He secretly
I
wants
never
to play
wanted.
Serena.
I never wanted to play Serena.
Why would he? He don't want to play her. He already know what the outcome would be. Low key, this dude would probably believes in his head that at his age he could beat her. Low key, he probably does believe that.
People always ask me about playing Serena. Did they ask Roger Federer about playing her?
Okay, so let me.
Yeah, sure.
Who's the greatest player today?
Roger is. Roger's the greatest, and Rafa. I mean, they've both had renaissances. One won the Australian, the other French. It's incredible. I mean, I look at these guys. I mean, I admire Roger, but the way he's done it, how much he loves it's what I really respect.
But in terms of the history of tennis, is it Rod Laver or is it Roger or is it someone?
Well, my rankings would be Roger, Rafa, close second. Rod Laver was my idol. Then I throw Pete Sampras in. He's the greatest fast court player. Serena Williams at 5.
Oh, now he's trying to get him some leeway, right? Because he's trying to not hurt their feelings. Ain't it crazy how that works? How this dude has to bend the truth, change his opinions because, well, these people's feelings got hurt, right? Probably doing commercial break. They took this man out back and set him straight. Hey, you can't come up here on national TV and tell the truth like that.
And number 6, Novak Djokovic. Okay, you happy now?
Yes, I'm happy.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Oh, man.
Serena, have a great time with the baby.
Because it really is.
As you can see there, he wasn't backing down. He didn't apologize. But, at the end, he had to coddle their feelings, right? And that's essentially how we got here today. Because we are coddling people's feelings instead of acknowledging reality. And again, I can't say I'm not guilty of that, to a certain extent, especially when it comes to the whole pronoun thing. But it just made me think about, like, wow, how to get to the point now where it is hateful to simply just acknowledge reality and to want to protect women's sports. Like, I'm trying to be pro-woman. Being pro-woman is now hateful according to the Biden administration. While at the same time, this movement has enabled biological men to now compete against women in traditionally feminine areas and arenas reserved for women, and they're now winning, right? They're winning. They're out competing women. It's kind of crazy how that works, man. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.